You know, Trixie? What? I almost kind of miss Mike's comments. Really? You miss him coming down to the comment section, insulting you, making fun of you, trying to defend his stupidity with illogical statements. Yep, and he tried to make illogical observations that can easily be destroyed and deconstructed if you take 5 seconds to think about it, or comments where you can proceed to talk him down, because, let's face it, his stuff has no bearing. You really miss all that? Nope, not in the least. Nor do I miss those people who would come down to my comments section every time we've done a riff and say, I don't like riffs, or you should stop complaining, or stop your screaming, and act like it's the only thing I've ever done. I don't miss them in the least, because they're smart enough to pay attention to this message where I point out that there are fics on here where I do not riff. The vast majority of them. Like a Harrier problem, which features Applejack becoming a werewolf. There's no muss, no fuss, and no comments. Just good old-fashioned Applejack transforming into a werewolf. You can enjoy that with a nice cup of tea. To the rest of you who do not listen to the message and want to write down in the comments about what you hate, remember, you chose this. You actually chose to sit down and write a comment on a fic where you could have been listening to something where I'm not riffing. So you only have yourself to blame. To the rest of you, welcome back to Darkness of Dimensions by Mikey, Act 10, Daring Darkness of Mystery, Champion of the Right. In the feudal era, ever have a feeling Mikey wants to write more about Inuyasha than writing about the ponies, Titans, and Digimon cast? Because I'm starting to have that feeling. Granted, it's strange, the Inuyasha parts are the ones that are the least painful. Having upon said that, I have a feeling the Inuyasha segment today is going to be the shortest. Even though Princess Suyu was very distraught from seeing Nobunaga, she and her husband still had their own mission to attend to. Inuyasha and friends, as well as the ponies, offered to escort the royal caravan. They would, but said no, but that they realized that completing this mission meant extra XP. And always gotta level up. Since most of the bodyguards had been killed, and Kagami did wish to talk to the princess about more of what she saw. First, they had a little burial service for the soldiers who died. He buried them in the fields, above ground, and covered them with earth mounds, placed flowers over each grave. Moroku gave a small eulogy for each of the fallen men. And also made sure no evil spirits possessed them. As we lay these soldiers to rest, we shall not forget their fallen efforts. Their courage and their loyalty. Brave men will fall, but they will be remembered. May their deaths not been in vain. Placed his hand vertically to his forehead and bowed respectfully, and the others did the same. The ponies respectfully touched their host to their forehead and bowed as well. Rarity was deeply saddened by the deaths of the soldiers, and frightened by how they were killed. I've never seen such a horrible sight, she said. Nothing like this has ever happened before. You also will know to protest about... What? And you also will have loved to protest to her about living in the real world where friendship and harmony didn't work how she and her pony friends were used to, but he didn't. I remind you folks, Mike is trying to have Inuyasha say this to the ponies. Where the finale of Inuyasha ends with Kagome relying on the powers of love to purify the Shikon Jewel And Inuyasha talks all along about why he became stronger was through his friends, and how the friends and bonds that he made him a better person and gave him more character development. This is the equivalent of trying to say this on Sailor Moon, our Magic Knight Rayearth. Actually, now that I think about it, never tried to say friendship and harmony didn't work how you and your pony friends were used to in anime in general. Okay. To be fair, not every anime relies on the power of friendship, but my god, is it the vast majority. Everyone was already deeply upset with the loss of the men, which angered them greatly. That Naraku, swear we'll get you. Won't rest until you're dead. I mean, of course, Mike could probably, and most likely, forgets that Inuyasha becomes a better person later on, and joins with his friends and becomes a better friend and a better person, thanks to what Moroku, Sango, and Kagome brought him. I want Shippo too. So the caravan was on their way again. Kagome and Shippo rolled in the royal carriage as a couple to talk things over. I'm positive, Carol. Saw Nobunaga. He was right there when the battle subsided. But I didn't see anyone there, said Shippo. Princess Luna was walking alongside the carriage, with Inuyasha on her back. I saw him too. I'm positive I had seen him before the other night. This speaks the truth. That's weird, said Kagome. I couldn't see him. Neither could anyone else except for the princesses. Roku, riding Keen, started over as near as he could figure. Why isn't he riding on Kilala? Better ass up there! Perhaps it was the way the spirit of the man they saw. It's widely believed some spirits can only be viewed by a certain view, but it's unclear why. Or Kimo looked at his wife apologetically. All this time I thought you were hallucinating when you claimed to have seen him. Can you ever forgive me? Suyu hugged her husband softly. Of course, my lord, Carol. It's a very touching moment for many to see. One question, said Rainbow. Who's this Nobra, Nakbu, whatever his name is? Suyu looked real sad again. Nobunaga. He was my dearest friend, Carol. Yeah, he was in love with you too, said Shippo, but Gasly realized what he said. Shippo! But it was too late. The royal couple heard clearly. He was in love with my wife? Well, thank God he's dead. I won't have killed him. Suyu was speechless, and he also couldn't help scoff. Yeah, he was head over heels, the idiot. Went out of his way, practically getting himself killed to save your life when you're possessed by that toad demon. Kimo was amazed, and Suyu was finally starting to click for the first time. So he remembered Nobunaga blushing and stammering a lot when they spoke to each other. He acted like such a nobleman near her, was willing to do anything to make her happy. There could be no second guessing, said Sango as he rode on Kilala. Just genuine feelings of love. Well, that and when a guy gropes your ass. Kate felt shiver up her spine. Sounds like a case of unquiet love, she said to herself. Suyu felt confused and a little dizzy. All this time, Nobunaga was infatuated with me, yet he knew I was married, and you, my lord, were my true love. Which means he was a bit of a jerk. Her husband felt flattered, but suddenly remembered. You don't suppose that's the reason he died? You know, Nobunaga, you could have waited. I mean, he is a lord. Assassins are available. Made too much sense now. Suyu and Kagome were about that time at Takeda Village at Kai, almost a year ago. Wait, did that mean the show's almost over? I wouldn't be surprised, Kagome answered. He was really depressed, but he did his best to hide it from you. He didn't want to confuse you or cause any troubles. Suyu remembered her last conversation with Nobunaga, and how she had asked if he had a special woman or desired a family's own. Oh! She guessed what she remembered, that this was when he keeled over and fell down the hill. His eyes, he gone dark, she said softly. Gone dark? That's Rainbow, and all the other ponies started to face her to Karis. Like how? Like a typical anime character! Ponies immediately pondered back to how Spike looked when he died. As for Suyu, she felt extremely horrible now. Realizing she was largely responsible for Nobunaga's death, and now she knew why. Again, Nobunaga feels like the outlier here. He feels out of place. Actually, the whole Inuasa portion of this feels out of place. Because the Inuasa cast didn't make fun of him. He didn't tease him. There's barely any interaction, and he barely had a fight with them. Spike's also just as guilty, but at least Rarity dumped him in his face. At least you could argue with that. At least that's something you could argue with. Nobunaga, he just didn't say anything, and everybody was happy with him. Inuasa was growing most annoyed by all this misery. Look, there's nothing that can be done about it now. Inuasa! Snapped Kagami, but Miyoka took helped on her shoulder. As much as I don't tolerate his rudeness, Master Inuasa has a point. All the talking and reasoning in the world can't rectify the situation. Cannot change what has been done. All the humans looked towards Inuasa. What are you staring at me for? Roku cleared his throat. It occurs to us, perhaps he feels the same way as the princess, in a way. After all, you wish to defeat Naraku to avenge what he did to you and Lady Kikyo. You also looked down, growling softly because he his fists. So what if I am? I know destroying Naraku won't bring Kikyo back to life, but I can at least avenge her death. Inuasa, boy, dude, remember, Kikyo's still walking around. You know, you could just say, take your revenge. I still thought that was very noble of him, and Rainbow couldn't help but tease. So under that big demon look, he's a big softy, and you also was annoyed. She's got a point, said Kagami. I think it's very normal. Will you get off my back already? While everyone squabbled about, Suyu was way down in the dumps. Even though she knew Inuasa was right about Nobunaga, and nothing would bring him back, it still pained her to finally understand the truth. Her husband showed her comfort, held her softly, feeling just as bad as himself. Still, none of this really explained Nobunaga's dark form, and why only Suyu and Luna could see him, when the others couldn't. In the dusty-dusted world, no! I hate it when I'm right! Oh, are you sure we can't go back to Inuyasha? You know, I riff on it, but the Inuyasha part's sadly the best part. Maybe it's only because Maiken really, really can't find anything to insult with them. He can't really do much with them. Sadly, this means he lacks the power to do anything but just to write a plain Inuyasha story. Which means it goes from bad to just being Which also means there's really nothing of his old quirks. Again, because there's no connection. Maiken only has one character he goes for. But that guy, popping up in only one episode of all of Inuyasha, is so far removed, he's got nothing to attach to. So Inuyasha and the others just feel superfluous. They're really doing nothing but just walking around and trying to get to the next plot point. Kairi stared at Davis' Dark Angel, and he glared at her with disgust. You're nothing but a shameless fucking liar, Kairi! He growled at her. Kairi was still enraptured by the facts he was seeing before her. Davis? She tried to get everyone else's attention. No use, Kairi. You can only hear me. Only you can. It was perfect when Ty stood up. Kairi, there's no one there. Who are you talking to? Kairi noticed pulling up. It's Davis. He's right there. Only I can see him. TK didn't think Kairi was choking, or would have gone so nervous and twitching. And for today, we have Zoro? Are we talking about Zoro was in the
Yes, apparently there's a French CGI animated series with Johnny on Boss as Zoro.
Oh, hell yes! I think she is telling the truth.
Davis?
Cried Gene as he go towards Kari. Is it really you? Give me a sign! Slippery when wet. Davis looked at his sister and grunted. He knows Twilight and the other ponies. Surprised to see the creature Spike had told about his former world.
Twilight, can you cast some kind of spell?
I don't know. Never read spells about this. Davis had seen more than enough. I'm out here. He left high into the sky, his cape changing into wings. Again, that used to be cool. But now Mike has ruined it.
Wait, Davis!
Kari called. She leapt high in the sky and grabbed him by the foot, longing for her hands to pass through and clear air. She fell right into Zoro's arms. I have you, my lady. Kari looked to the sky and called out,
Davis!
But he took no notice of her, vast through a dark portal. Kari burst into tears.
What happened?
Cried Yelly.
He's gone. Can't take it, it hurts. Oh, Kyrie.
Kari fluttered sighs. He came over to comfort her soothingly. Ty came over to help his sister too, while everyone else was stunned when it just happened. She says she saw him, but we didn't, said Sunny Armor. Starlight wanted to go over and ask Kyrie about what she saw, but seeing how it said, she decided against it. Wait for Kyrie to calm down. Later that day, the Dizzy Destin met up with the gang, and they all held out at Cody's place. His mother's garden was wide open, plenty of room for them all to hang out. Cody's grandfather provided plenty of prune juice for everyone, even the ponies. Okay, I have to ask, what was it in the original Japanese version?
Actually, what is actually being drunk in the Japanese version of Digimon are what is known as jelly drinks. Which, yes, it's jello in a tube, and the Japanese drink it. But this is one of those times I'm not going to hold it against Miken. This is not a Miken. Do you even Japanese, bro? This is the American dub. Do you even Japanese, bro? I'm going to blame the American dub for this one.
He just looks pretty good. Cody's grandpa guys down the last drop of his own pack. Like I say, dubs have no appreciation for Japanese culture. Boys all point to confusion.
Don't mind it. Grandpa just knows how to break the fourth wall.
Well, I'm just glad you weren't surprised by his points coming.
Yeah, I thought you'd be overly astonished,
asked Starlight. Grandpa gave a small cough. Astonished I'm already, rather. I'm an old man. Very few things surprises me these days, considering all that Cody's told me already. I find it fascinating to learn so many worlds out there. Really wish I could help her out there. I felt much calmer sitting in the garden, but now it's clear she wouldn't need to go to the nut house or so. Even though she had seen Davis, her over at the fellow's state of depression remained.
Time for the beers!
She sat on the deck away from others, until TK came and sat beside her. You're not doing all right? She looked at him sadly, but Madison forced a small smile on her face before suddenly leaned into his arms.
No, I have a career, not doing this.
Darn you, Colleen! Just sighed, I don't know what we could do. Izzy had been researching on his laptop all the previous activities in the past few hours, hoping to get any clues of Kyrie St. Davis. Nothing. There wasn't any digital activity at all. Whatever Kyrie saw had nothing to do with the digital world, said Matt. Mimi felt very frustrated. This way you think we solve one mystery, we get whole new ones. Ty felt most concerned by all this, both his sister and girlfriend down in the dumps. Frankly, he was starting to feel low to see Miss Davis himself. I'm not! And considering that Davis is a base-breaking character, I don't think a lot of other people are either. Surprisingly, you can comfort him. You okay? Yes, because it's surprisingly that your girlfriend wants to help you be comforted. Ty shook his head. Never felt so frustrated in my life. Everyone's really falling apart over this. I don't know what to do anymore. June always then picked him deeply on the cheek. At least you're caring. Believe me, we need that as much as now than ever. Ty smiled softly, but he still wished there was a way he could help. I got it! Cried Starlight as he ran out of the garden. I just remembered a spell I used a long time ago. So he explained, more to Twilight than the others, was he was on her own, and rather evil and crazy, and a lot more fun. She worked hard to study the art of magic to strengthen her own power. So he came across a spell that allowed her and anyone cast it to see what someone else could see through their own eyes. What do you mean you could cast a spell to make us all see Davis the next time he's around? Asked Ty. Why didn't you think of this before? Plot convenience. Oh, well, that explains everything. Only she can see Davis, then I need to cast a spell over her and see what she sees. Kari looked up with a strange expression on her face. It sounded exciting, but a little frightening as well. Not to mention still the problem of finding Davis at all. Davis looked pretty pissed when I last saw him. That's him always. Now he knows I can see him, he'll probably want to avoid coming near me at all costs. Everyone agreed, and this presented a huge problem. Not one of them, not even the ponies, had any idea how to attract spirits, ghosts, whatever it was Davis was. I have a way. I keep saying, said TK. Said Zoro, maybe it'd be best if we let this whole thing go. Everyone went down sharply and sternly. Before any of you scold me, like this, Davis doesn't want to be seen. He's obviously angry with us, and there's nothing we can naturally do to bring him back to life. He's not as Digimon, can't be reconfigured or anything like that. Zoro, it's not like that, said Kairi. She had a hard say. Well, at least try to reconcile with him. Now that it's really been bothering me, it's my fault he died. No, it wasn't. Zoro protested. Look, you punched him, yes, but that's not why he died. He just couldn't get over you, and he threw a big fit. Yeah, kind of with TK on this. Kari's features hardened. Are you saying he deserved it? Yes! He was our friend, Zoro. I cared for him as such. No. Your real friends would have admitted it and walked away. This is a stalker. He was our friend, Zoro. I cared for him. I can admit that he had problems with me, but he didn't deserve to die. Yes, he did! Hey, knock it off. We're not starting up these arguments again over who's to blame. Davis, Rollo says it is. Matt agreed with him. And he went to Kairi. And Zoro. Kairi felt livid that he dared to compare the two. This was someone's death, not a simple divorce. Divorce! Half siblings! The dog couldn't make up its mind! Twilight, although she understood the facts of the death part, she understood Kairi's wishes to at least try and reconcile with a friend. That's the important part. If please don't even, that's the next amazing point. And all, she and her friends suffered a similar experience. With Spike! Remembering all of that brought deep pain to her heart. She went into a deep, sad trance, which made her opponents feel her pain and understand her own problem. That's it then, said Starlight. We'll at least try. Sunshine and Shining Armor agreed, and Twilight especially. Just one thing. I was supposed to find Davis. Can't even see him. How do you know he's around? Everyone thought it over. Ken suddenly had an idea. Ding! The Dark Ocean. Everyone turned to him. What do you mean? Ken then went to Kairi. You say he looked like some kind of dark spirit, right? Kairi nodded. Oh, does he just love that the Eldritch location does this easily? A good idea. Does this easily as walking down the street. We wouldn't need is a little darkness to bring Davis out in the open. The Dark Ocean could do that if we could get a little bit of its water. Yep, just that easy, folks. Everyone thought it was had potential to work. No way. No way am I going back to that creepy place again. It almost made me disappear forever. Will I explain and fill us in on the Dark Ocean? Asked Shining Armor. As he explained to the ponies everything. The Dark Ocean is an eerie and haunting place within the digital world. It has the power to mess with the minds of anyone who enters it. And it would have had more plot relevance, but they kind of had to ditch that near the end. Cursed place, especially Ken, Kairi, and Yoli. He didn't go any further. Yeah, trying to bring up all the haunting and bad memories the trio had to deal with its power, especially Ken. TK was there too. Ken held out his Black D3. My dizzy fights used to be able to emit dark energy waves, but it isn't able to do that anymore, unless I dip it into the dark waters again. He paused and looked at everyone staring at him with deep concern, especially Yo Lee. Ken, you can't. Will you become infected again? Well, remember, he was also infected by a dark seed, and that corrupted him, and... I think Mike is just forgetting certain points of the continuity just to make sure it all adds up. There, folks, you can do that too. Just take what you love about your favorite series and throw it out the window. And remember all the horrible things you've done in the past because of the darkness. I won't let it happen, Yo Lee. Won't let it. I have to do this. Everyone went silent, and Cody's grandfather came out, overhearing the conversation. Let him go, he said to everyone, and the others all turned to gawk at him. But Grandpa, said Cody. But Grandpa wouldn't take any protests. Ken is willing to take this challenge. No other way. Who are you to stop him? His friends. I realize the potential risk involved, but when has risk ever stopped you kids before? Police all looked at the gang and agreed with Grandpa. Ty agreed as well. There's no other choice. Ken nodded, but he only held up his hand. I'll go with you as backup. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just reading my dialogue for the next cool anime I'm in. Come on, can I at least bring Hanabi into this? No. I'm busy leading my own team. I really hate my knowledge of other voices. Zoro and Kairi knew they could handle the Dark Host a bit too. But they couldn't go because they were banned for the digital world period. Without their D3s, Paimon, or Gatomon, they wouldn't have a chance that they ran into danger. Maybe I could go with you two. Twilight, I can provide extra protection with my magic. Face darkness before. I'd like to see this digital world you talked about. As much as Izzy admired her curiosity and determination, he reminded her, Twilight, only people with a Digivice or a Digimon can enter the digital world. Well, now that Twilight's seen one, she's a candidate. Well, either one, I don't see how you can do it. Do it. Fluttershy was sorrowing nervously. Besides, it sounds really scary in there anyway, blah, 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 blah. Twilight already had a plan to bypass that. Concentrated hard and Horn started glowing. What are you doing? Asked Mimi. Then Twilight fast as a flash, reappearing as an earring on Yolei's left ear, astonishing everyone. You're just abusing this whole entire transformation part, aren't you? Look, it's the only way I can do this! Leave me alone! He said it only affects people. He didn't say you can affect objects, said Twilight. Yep, this is starting to become spell abuse. Izzy was really concerned about this and calculated as he could. People have tried to wrongfully break into the digital world before. Always ended up in disaster. I still suggest you don't do this. Cody's grandfather put his hand on Izzy's shoulder, reminding. Risk never stopped you before. Izzy sighed and activated the Digi game on his laptop. Why do I feel I'm going to regret this? Yoli and Ken walked over to the laptop, hand in hand. Twilight felt rather nervous. Please look down on my sister, said Shining Armor. The couple nodded at her, and Twilight smiled at her brother. She was actually feeling very nervous about this, was still willing to go. Here goes something. Digiport open. Bright flash, he and Yoli advanced to the computer with Twilight. That's amazing. Izzy nervously checked the stability of the digital gate, found nothing was wrong, meaning Twilight made it through safely. But that was just out the bow. G.I. Joe! Ken and Yoli appeared in an open field where Hawkman and Wormmon were told to meet them. Ken, Yuri, over here. Friends united together, and Hawkman noticed Yoli's earring. Where did you get that, Yuri? It's exactly like Twilight. Twilight answered, because it is me. The two Digimon started in shock. Alright, they looked all around her in the fields, the grass, the trees, the mountains. This is a digital world. I like it. It's so peaceful. I think it's peaceful now. Just you wait. Suddenly, Twilight began to glow and magically changed back to her normal self, frightening the whole gang. What else were you gonna do that? But I didn't do it. Didn't call out the spell just yet. The gang was confused. and Twilight tried to levitate a rock on the ground, but nothing happened. A horn didn't glow, the rock didn't move or anything.
My magic doesn't work here. Of course it doesn't.
Because that's the only way you can allow Twilight to be here. Gotta take away the magic. Yep. Because
creating a scenario or creating monsters that can actually match Twilight's magic, that's just too hard. And also thinking of works around and thinking of scenarios where Twilight's magic wouldn't be useful, that's just too hard. It's better to just deactivate her magic and remove it completely. Otherwise, I would actually have to think of a scenario. And because, sorry, if I just don't want to focus on bashing the characters.
Tell me I was wrong.
Afraid to assume Twilight's magic is compatible with the wavelengths of the digital world. All her magic is completely useless.
Everyone felt worried, especially your ponies. But Holly can't use her spells. She can't turn back into an object to pass through the portal. My sister is trapped to her forever? Couldn't get here from the other side of the computer. I thought this might happen. Still one way to get out back out. We'll worry about that later. Right now, we need to get going. The ponies wondered how Ken could get everyone home. The kids realized, oh no, couldn't possibly mean. Carrie blinked nervously. Cody knew what this meant too, and the others were all confused. Inside, Ken yelling got out the D3s and initiated the evolution. Oh, come on, Digimon 2! Wormmon, Digimon 2! Akiromon! Stigmon! Twilight was astonished as he got to the newly grown Digimon. It's like magic. Two Digimon fell flat, and Akiromon asked, so, where are we going? Why the hurry? We're going to the Dark Ocean, replied Yoli. Ken needs to infuse some of its water to his D3. Two Digimon gasped in shock. Dark Ocean? Ken, you can't. You know what happened to you last time. I realized that. Let's just get going. We'll explain on the way. Soon they were all on the way. At least Twilight was still able to fly on her own. Only she could only gaze more in awe at the digital world. Many sights and wonders below. Kind of saw the many Digimon below. What do you think? It all looks so peaceful. Not nearly as dangerous as you guys claimed it was. Just wait, you'll see. Soon it began to look darker up ahead. The clouds got thicker and eerie. It was like a storm coming. I did bring a umbrella with me. That isn't a storm, Twilight, said Ken. That's the Dark Ocean. Twilight gasped in shock. What? No, seriously, what? Soon there they were. Hey, Mikey, I know you don't watch the show. You obviously don't. You only focus on the shipping and you don't care about the series or the plot or the world building or anything else. This is so as long as you can fit your own ego, and I totally get that. This just shows how much of a person you are. You just focus on one thing and don't care about anything else. But you do remember that the Dark Ocean was a portal, right? And you needed to go through another zone in order to get to there, right? And the last time that they tried to do anything with it, they had to send a very powerful being, Daemon, through there, right? You do remember this, right? The dark, eerie skies, dark waters, the fog, the lighthouse, the Eldritch abominations, the Daemon, you know, things you kind of forgot. Sarah's right respond. The only other place he felt numerous of dissonance are Tartarus. Ken was beginning to hyperventilate as his fears and his past were catching up to him. Ken, you better sit down. Good. King touched down sandy beaches and fight cliff faces, and Ken was shivering madly. Moaning louder as memories became stronger. Don't let it get to you. Outside, the others were all growing concerned as they watched. Poor Ken, he's really freaking out. What's wrong with him? Zoro and Kyrie agreed, so did Koei and the rest. They told the ponies everything. How Ken was once the Digimon Emperor. A self-proclaimed dictator of the digital world, enslaving innocent Digimon to do his bidding. He was completely ruthlessly tyrannical to the bone. It all started when he first came to the Dark Ocean. Now he's one of you? Yaris continued to explain how Ken brought to the digital world was some kind of video game, which he was using as a form of escapism from his hard life. feeling of doubt, overshadowed by his brother Sam and Sam's death. Hey, don't forget Rio. He was pretty cool. Ken finally understood the realities of his evil ways, and losing Wormon. He was devastated and never forgave himself for what he did. The ponies felt sad, devastated learning this, especially Starlight. Ken's just like me. He was alone, miserable, and felt a need for power for comfort. How did you join your team? Because of Davis, replied Kyrie. He was the only one of us willing to give Ken a second chance, and convinced all of us he could be redeemed. He taught Ken to believe in himself all over again. You do know the others had the same thing, right? I mean, even Yali, right? The one who took the longest was Cody. You remember this, right? Oh, I forgot. Davis does everything. Speechless, it felt here such acts of friendship. Matt sighed. You said it, Matt! This made Kyrie feel worse. Whatever fights he had with him, yelling at him, insulting him, he cared for Davis as a friend. Exactly! You cared for him as a friend. There is nothing wrong with that. But nope! Girls can't be friends with boys. Oh, no, 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 no. Regardless, Davis was being a whiny jerk, but didn't deserve to die. That's what you think. Yes, he did. Kyrie, said Zoro. But he couldn't even tell he was okay. Trying not to think about it now. Kyrie took in a deep breath to calm herself and looked back at the screen. Ken was still freaking out. Darkness, don't let get at me. Billy knew the only way to snap out of it, slapped her boyfriend clean across the face. And again, 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 and again! Banzai! Zach, get a hold of yourself. Billy, don't say it. Remember what Davis taught you. And stop letting this get to you. You guys remember on Marvel when the Sentry died and everybody and their mom acted like him dying was some sort of great loss to the entire Marvel universe? And even to the point where Tony was like, he helped me cure my alcoholism. That happened. That's not feeling right about now. All the times he gave him strength to face his fears, the darkness within him, covering all I see. How will I live? How will I die? Davis was gone now. Woo! You're right. We got a job to do. Lily smiled, and Twilight felt proud of Ken for standing up to his fear. Though she couldn't approve of Lily slapping him like that. Slowly, Ken moved towards the wires as he softly splashed across the dark sands. He held out his black D3, looked at the wire others for a moment, and got on his knees. Bitch, better get back down on your knees. Slipped his D3 into the wire. The touch of the wire made his entire body feel instantly cold and shivering because of the dark powers. But his D3 began to glow as it absorbed some of the power. Ken began to grunt and groan, trying to hold himself steady and not let the darkness take him over again. Come on, Ken. Almost there. This is getting scary, whimpered Twilight. Because of course, why not? I was really worried about Ken, but I had faith in him. Oh no, he'll pull through. Ken was beginning to quiver softly. You know, you just gotta love the emotionlessness of all this. I grabbed hold of his arm with his free hand, trying to keep his balance, as he absorbed more darkness. Then he pulled himself up on the wire, falling back into the sand hard. Ken! Oh my, said Torsakai. Nora ran out to her and held him up. It took Ken a moment to catch his breath and looked down at C3. It was glowing with dark aura. I got the darkness. I got it. It's my window friend. You know, I had a window friend once. This can help us find Davis. We did it. Let's get out of here. Fine by me. Not so fast. Forbidden trident. We're out, cried Singmon as he sent everyone out of him, sparing them from being mauled by a large black trident. Everyone turned and saw the huge creatures rising out of the ground. What's that? It's Digimon. Dragomon. Drago! You horrible, horrible person! I couldn't help it, Trixie. It was there. Dragomon grabbed his trident and glared angrily at the gang. Trixie swears if you do one Ivan Drago reference, she will beat you.
So, come back again, little emperor.
Okay, that's it. Come here. Totally worth it.
I felt the darkness in the world was shifting. I suspected you had something to do with it.
Don't understand.
You and your little bossy, of course I can't be sorry you came here.
He got ready for a huge fight. Hurry! Coyote, as he mounted a Killmon. And Ken mounted Stingmon. Oh my. The duos took over the sky with Twilight coming behind them.
You won't get away,
Said the Dragomon.
tentacle flapping.
And his long tentacles went about, forcing everyone to dodge. There I saw the whole thing on Dizzy's screen and began to panic. Why is that creep chasing them? That's shining armor. When Ken absorbed the darkness from the wire, it must have disturbed Dizzy Dragomon's sleep beneath the waves of the ocean. Dragomon gets very grumpy when disturbed. Who's talking? Once again, this is another one of those things that some of my riffers try to say, if you paid attention, you will know who's talking. Oh, really? If I paid attention, I would know who's talking. You realize that right now in this group, there's Ty, Matt, Sora, Mimi, Izzy, Joe, Cody, Kyrie. I think I already said Sora. June. There are, Shining Armor, Starlight. There are 11 people in that audience. And Fluttershy, 12. There are 12 subjects in that audience. 9 of them know what's going on. Please tell me, which one of these 9 are speaking? And before you actually try to say, well, it's obvious it's Izzy. How can you tell? This could be Matt for all I know. What? When Ken absorbed the darkness from the water, it must have disturbed Dragomon sleep beneath the waves of the ocean. And Dragomon get very grumpy when disturbed. It could be Sora. When Ken absorbed the darkness from the water, it must have disturbed Dragomon's sleep beneath the waves of the ocean. And Dragomon get very grumpy when disturbed. It could be Ty. When Ken absorbed the darkness of the water, it must have disturbed Dragomon's sleep beneath the waves of the ocean. Dragomon get very grumpy when disturbed. See, it could have been any of them. Do you know why it could be any of them? Because, for one, there's no possessive pronoun. 2, when you lack a possessive pronoun, like said, he said, blank said, that leaves out who was talking. 3, there are things in text called focal language. There are times in text when you write a character a certain way, and when they speak, you immediately know who said it without even having to use a possessive pronoun. Like, for instance, well, mine. See? What y'all mean? That's obviously Applejack. Or if somebody says, my dear, that's obviously Rarity. There are certain lines of dialogue, certain inflections, words of speaking that you can put into your text to show that there are different people speaking. However, since Mikan writes everybody the same way, it's impossible to know. So no, paying attention won't help. Because you can pay attention all you want to, but if I don't say who is talking, then nobody knows. As a matter of fact, you want me to prove to you, riffers, that just because you can say you know who's obviously talking, that you automatically know if you pay attention? You really want me to? You really can say that? Fine then! Let's dance!
Can't they just try to talk to it? Trying to make this scene that they didn't mean to? They just did. I don't think he's willing to listen. It's worse than that. Drago's an ultimate Digimon. Stigmon and Akulamon don't stand a chance. Can't you all go in there? We can't. The Dark Ocean has no digital portals. It seems too dangerous to travel to and from instantly. That's why Ken and Yali met up with their Digimon and flew all the way. Even if we went in now, it would still take a while to get there. Now, kindly tell me, who said what? I am cool. Stigma and Kilomon will grow tired from all the constant dodging, as well as the long flight to Yosa to begin with. I don't think I could hold out much longer.
Me neither.
Dragomon roared, his strongest triumph right for everyone, missing him by a few feet. Wind waves struck the gang hard, forcing them all down to the beach, landing with 3 huge suds. And Yoli were thrown out their Digimon and rolled along the sand, while Digimon devolved to their rookie forms. Yes. Starting to see what you mean. Twilight grunts he rubbed their head. Dragomon growls as he rushed forth, the gang all huddled together in fright. There was no place for them to run with the big cliffs behind them, the huge beast coming to them. Twilight couldn't use any magic to teleport safely.
You're mine, thundered Dragomon.
Suddenly, someone called out to him.
Leave him alone!
Could it be? Yes! Zoro and Kairi recognized that voice at once.
Could it be?
Kairi got to scream with anxiety. Sure enough, there on the cliff tops stood All Might! The rest of the team felt mixes of sadness and happiness to see the two again, while the ponies decided not to say anything to ruin the moment.
All Might glared angrily at Dragomon and stared down. It's all right. I am here. That's enough of your grumpiness for one day. You leave those peasants alone, and I'll defeat you. You don't want to tell me the guardians that you're misbehaving again.
Dragomon cried softly in fear. Just remember it's time for my nap. He jumped back into the water, disappearing into waves. Must have relieved the gang. Just to make everybody happy, All Might brought out Katamon and Patamon and gave Kairi and Zoro their devices. Then he proceeded to punch Pervy Jedi in the dick, and then manhandled all the little guardians before going back to UA. Why? Because he's All Might, motherfucker! And that's how he rolls. Poof. What are you doing here in the digital world? Get here.
More complicated story.
I'll say it's been about 10 chapters since you looked at me. What's your holding your head? Say you're sorry. Too hesitated. Patamon felt rather upset. Well, I live here now. Since my sentencing.
The sentencing?
Patamon explained that this was his punishment, issued by Jedi and the 4 Guardians, for being inadvertently responsible for X-Fumon's death. Like someone being tried for murder found guilty. They even altered my data, like putting a beast collar on me. If I tried to leave the Dark Ocean, they'll just transport me back here again. Zoro heard all this.
Patamon.
He said softly over his breath. Too bad Patamon couldn't see or hear him through the screen. Come on, Patamon softly. I could bear to think how miserable he was being here, so I came down to keep him company. I miss Kairi. Hearing this made a tear roll down Kairi's cheek. Well, she would give a chance to hug Gatomon one last time. How's everyone?
Not really that good. The plots meandering, the story's pacing is slow, and everybody's acting so ROC, and nobody has any characterization for this dialogue.
Gatomon felt horrible. She missed Kairi so much, and even worse about Davis. Can't believe he really died. I can't either, but I'm happy. It's awful. Why are you here then? I'm gathering darkness from the wire. It's to help us find Davis' soul. It's hard to understand, but right now we really need to get back. And there's only one way you could take Twilight with us. Looked over at Yoli and he looked worried at the idea, but even tells her so her way. What is it? Ken clasped his D3 and tan tightly. Ozilio answered, Ken, and he alone has the power to open a small rift between our world and the Dark Ocean. It's the only way we can get you back out here, Twilight. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in here.
Question, guys, since it's obvious that now Mike had decided to rewrite all continuity and put the Dark Ocean right next door to the digital world, why not just fly back to the digital world and get aboard?
Hawkmon's feathers stiffened. Oh dear. What only happens if I'm truly worried? Stand back. Here goes something.
Izzy,
Kotar, this is it. Plus the digital world's wave levels to make sure the world itself won't become unbalanced when it happened. Ken let out a roar and held his D3 way out. The D3 began to glow with dark power, focusing on the cliff faces. Alright, Ken began to feel the strain getting to him, but he held on with all he had, continued to focus on the darkness. Izzy checked the computer screen. The levels were starting to increase, but nothing dangerous yet. This is getting scary. Suddenly, there was a small glow of light, disappearing in the field where the gang was sitting. Glowed brighter and bright, began to open wide, feeling the dark ocean and digital world on the other side. It's working! Still late levels are starting to race. His computer alarm started to beep as the screen flashed red.
In the dark zone.
Dark zone? That's where I am right now. Oh, only for some light. SOS. Help me.
Oi!
Nobody is going to get that. That Johnny get your gun reference.
I know. But it's my hope that somebody listening out there is going to get that one.
Lord began to sense a disturbance in the forest.
Oh, great, is smoke. He's probably just as useless.
What is it, my lord? I feel a great burst of dark energy being pushed against the dimensional fabrics, and it's tacky. Sentry felt concerned. The lord certainly meant no danger to them, but he himself was feeling concerned at all these dimensional shifts. Same time Davis reappeared. Whoa, I was just about to come in when suddenly onomatopoeia! This big energy burst nearly disrupted my interdimensional travel. The lord felt more concerned than ever now. Felt his dark angels were in greater danger now.
Why? You guys have already... Why, Erebus? You pointed out that they're practically immortal, practically invincible, so what do you care?
Back in the field, the rest was now more than wide enough for the gang inside the digital world to jump through. Patamon, said Zoro. Katamon, said Kairi. Zoro! Kairi! As much as laying eyes upon each other for the first time was most beautiful, the others had to act fast before the rift would appear. Finally, Ken collapsed from near exhaustion. Ken! Cried Yelly as he caught him in her arms.
Got to hurry. Don't have to tell me twice.
Luffy and Hawkman got to the Twilight's back as he carried them through the hole, which was starting to seal itself up. Yelly and Ken jumped through as the hole got smaller, and Patamon and Gatomon were watching sadly. Come on through, shouted Zoro. Can't. I can't, but you can. Patamon, I... Before Gatomon could press any further, boom, double, pop! Patamon's fast bubbled right at her. Gatomon was the champion, so he was knocked back and through the rift by the blast. Gatomon! Kairi shouted. Futsumon, cried Zoro as he ran through the disappearing hole. Tai and Matt held him back as the hole was already too small for a fit anymore. Patamon smiled tearfully as TK. Nice to see you again, he cried. And the hole vanished completely. Digital levels were stabilized on Izzy's computer. Poor TK fell to his knees and began to cry. Matt says he held his brother by softly letting him cry. Frankly, he couldn't blame him. None of the others could either. They all felt equally heartbroken as he was. But Kairi was preoccupied as he held Gatomon in her hand. Gatomon. Little cat opened her eyes. Kairi. Cat's ears cascaded down her face as he hugged her long-lost partner closely. Oh, Gatomon. She sobbed, I thought I'd never see you again. Gatomon began to cry softly, too. Izzy felt so overjoyed for seeing Kairi and Gatomon reunited, but still deeply upset over Zoro and Patamon. There was trouble. He received priority email from Jedi.
Good Jedi or Dark Jedi?
Izzy, we need to have a little talk.
Oh god, it's perfect Jedi!
He sounded really pissed, obviously aware of what had just happened. Oh boy, said Izzy. Hive headquarters, nestled somewhere by the sky.
shedding peace on hard rock rapids of Colorado's Rocky Mountains.
We have received word from High Central, and now it is time. Everyone, assemble in the master chamber.
They moved quickly into the honeycomb catacombs, hundreds of them, hoping for a good view of the spectacle about to be played. They may be disappointed.
Everything's ready. Central's watching on the monitors, and the Hive Master is especially pleased with the results.
Excellent. Then let us put on a special show. Do this contract. Finale. Inside the main chamber, the Titans are strapped to a giant mechanical device. Each one of them grappled, chained in a way that prevents them from using their powers. Each one of them, their legs and feet bonded together. Terminator! That was...
Troy, welcome back to the land of the living. Good to see you again. Oh, don't mind the pain. If I know my Hive friends, in a short while you won't be feeling anything.
Flee me, Terminator, and out!
Kill me? I'm sure you would, Miss Anders. That's the reason you'll remain in that elevator. You know, it's a shame an exotic beauty like you has to die. We could have been such magnificent lovers.
Oh, well.
Nothing's gonna keep me here, Sunball. Not you, not those cornball crews in purple dresses. Certainly not this machine when I get my mitts on.
Thick. Look at Raven. She's not moving.
Silence, you fool! There is no way to break free from the evaporator. Indeed, it uses your powers to make you powerless.
It feeds on you, which makes it stronger. And the stronger it becomes, the more it absorbs. It will continue to grow stronger until there is nothing left to siphon. As for Raven, she is being kept unconscious. There is a power within her. The inevitable is possible to absorb. I will need her, as the rest of you. Terminator! Why are you working with them? You're a...
Mercenary? Correct. In hunting down heroes would normally be out of my territory. I inherited a contract with someone whose death you were partially responsible for. Perhaps you remember Ravager? Did you know he was my son? Surprise day. And now surprises are going to be when you see who helped me engineer your defeat. Meet my assistant. I do believe you met.
Hera, no.
You're lying, Terminator. You're lying!
No. Silly, everything's slipping into pace. No, Vic, you're wrong. Terminator did something. Used hypnosis. Something.
Poor Logan. Illusions die hard, don't they?
Stepping out from behind the curtain is Tara. A smile on her face. What's with the pot mouth, Logan? Your pretty little girlfriend isn't all true, blue, and pure. Mister, you don't know the half of it. You really believe you're going to scram I tell you everything.
Why are you talking like that, Tara? What did Terminator do to you? Come on, don't let him control you. You can fight him.
This is compass. No one could trust me. Not Slade, and certainly not you. I do what I want to do. And right now, I want to watch you damn good girls die. Real slow and real painful. God! You people make me sick. You got all those powers, and you act like it's your job to help every stinking maggot who's got troubles. Man, they should be begging us to make us happy, doing what we want, or kill them.
Wow, that sounds so much like Mike's way of thinking.
You're the special one, but there's zillions more where they came from. Thank you both. Your jobs are now completed. It is time for the Hive to take over.
Since I'm certain that's not the local McDonald's, it's gotta be Hive HQ. Outside of Hive headquarters, Dick and Jericho proceed to move. Their suits comprised with a special clothing that keeps them warm. Don't know how your mother knew it was here, but she was right on target. Joe Wilson knows the amazing extent of his mother's resources. Silas smiles in response. Next step is breaking in, rescuing the Titans, and finding out she's equally right about Tara. I'm praying she's way off base. I hate the idea of hold it, company.
A soldier begins his grounds. Wilson steps forward, but
no wait, Joe. I told you before. This is a Titans mission. You're here to guard a guy only.
unmute. Joe can only say nothing in protest, but he knows Dick will come around.
Besides, if the Titans are being held captive here,
Dick sneaks right behind a guard,
and with a quick roundhouse slams her into the wall. I'll get more than a kick out of this. Dress him up. I don't want him luring anyone else. Well, only one more guard down by the entrance. In this weather, and this far from humanity, I guess I didn't need more than two keeping watch. Stand back. While I defeat my wristband firing mech. From his wrist, he fires a grappling line, launching itself into the side of the wall. A razor-sharp Peruvian silhouette, a coiled Peruvian cable. Completely unbreakable, all thanks to Steve Dayton's lab. Let's go, Joe. Or while you are in action, would you prefer me calling you Jericho?
Wilson nods. Nightwing and Jericho. The rhythm works. Wow. Now what about the money you promised my kid? You haven't completely honored his contract. You failed to bring us Kid Flash or Robin. The Speedster is no longer a Titan. You want him, you pay extra. And as for Robin,
couldn't hack it with the wicked snake, eh?
Perhaps he should have called me in. Tara, I suggest you curb your sarcasm. As for Robin, my associate is tracing his whereabouts. If you can lead me to a throne, please follow me.
Whack!
In an instant, Dick takes out another guard. Continues his walk.
When are they going to kill the Titans? This is getting boring. I want action, Slade. I want something to do.
Keep it to yourself. I'm trying to contact Wintergreen.
Maybe I can sneak down and join the Titans myself.
Not if you value your life. Now shut up.
Sir, this is, Wintergreen. Yes, sir, everything's fine.
What about the kid? You find him yet?
Unfortunately not, sir. I have your agent searching. Well, find him.
Are you alright, old friend?
As well as can be expected. Goodbye, sir.
It was my nerves, but Wintergreen seemed edgy. Well, back to work.
Click, click.
Well, that was excellent. I'm really sorry it has to be this way. You know how much I care for you. Behind him, Adeline holds a gun to Wintergreen's back.
As for you, Adeline, now please put that gun away. I'm not going anywhere. You know Slade felt all along that this Titan's contract would be his undoing. The longer it goes on, the more I believe he was right.
But you went along with him, as you always do. Why?
I owed him that much, and I care for him deeply. I had to admit, I never understood your relationship. Slade never explained it.
He wouldn't. He's a very private man. He keeps both his pleasures and pains to himself.
Wintergreen begins to pour a drink. Wintergreen, how did he save you?
Adeline, I tried not to think of how, but I do remember when. It was the day the Terminator was born. I remember, I was with the British Army, but assigned to the Americans when the Viet Cong captured me. You were a captain, you heard the stories that the Cong told. I can assure you they were all true. You will not survive your next mission. Duck now. But I was unconscious when they locked me in my cage. They were correct. I was old. My heart would never survive. I believe General Sampson knew that.
Sampson, never heard of him.
Slade never told you. That surprises me.
Nothing Slade should surprise me. I loved him, but I never really knew him.
Sampson is an old horse, slave soldier with political connections. Slade nearly died because of him. He would have if I hadn't saved him.
You saved Slade?
I did. Years before, during the Suez Crisis, Sampson sent Slade down a fool's mission, but Slade never questioned his orders. We were both assigned to the United Nations peacekeeping mission. Sergeant Slade, you're under orders. I do. I'll be leading an Anglo-French assault team into Cairo. Lieutenant Colonel Sergeant. Sergeant Slade is hardly experienced enough for... Staff Sergeant Wintergreen, when I want your opinion, I will ask for it. Until then, shut up! It was a suicide mission, on which we had no right to succeed, but by God, with evident checks permitted success. Only Slade was caught to the bomb blast. Though Thompson ordered me not to, I charged to his rescue. It was simple as that. Thompson was given a minor reprimand. Then he was promoted. Later on in Vietnam, I was again assigned to his command. He never forgot, nor had forgiven my trespass. This time, his suicide mission was assigned to me. So I lay dying in Vietnam. Slowly, softly. One of the Vietnamese soldiers does not notice a man sneaking up behind him, taking out his dagger and stabbing him in the throat. 2 more guards tried to hear the rustling in the leaves, but I heard an impossible caterwauling. A man screaming like a wild banshee was garbed in an outlandish uniform, stepping out from the forest. It was Terminator, his mask covered in black. But I gained instant respect when I saw him in action. I had never seen a human move like that. It was like lightning itself, his movements incredibly smooth and steady. My God, the bloody bandit was impossible to shoot! Pow! I had been in the British Army since the big war, seen soldiers of all kinds. Even the very best was like a child compared to this man, if a man he was. I had counted 38 Kong living in that compound. In less than 2 minutes, none were alive. Then he turned to me, and it was my turn to die. Using only his gloved fist, he smashed apart my bamboo prison. Stepped aside. I would have humiliated myself then and there if he hadn't removed his mask. My God! Slade! Sultan forced Slade to resign his commission, but Slade did without explaining his powers were under his total control. I owe Slade my life. After you shot him when he was hospitalized, I took his place by his side, and then without your love, his life as a mercenary turned him cold. I stood by him, giving him hope. When he assumed the client's contract on the Titans, he became obsessed. I tried to temper his wilder whims. When he found that Markov girl, I knew he was racing towards ruin. I could do nothing more for him. His life is in fate's fickle hand. I don't think I ever loved him as much as you do.
Ooh, I love this comic. Don't love the fic, though. Meanwhile, back in the actual story, once again, we have everybody recount what's happening. The Titans are trying to say, no, we couldn't find a way to compromise in a way that makes everybody happy like you ponies can, because life doesn't happen like that, even though it totally does! Amazing. Every time Mike says it doesn't work like that, I can think of 1,000 examples where life does work like that. Most of the time, that's because adults thinking. Mike is only thinking like a child would. Thinking life doesn't work like that. Because it scares him. And then everybody proceeds to regroup, and everybody complains about Terra. Because remember, folks, if everyone's complaining about Terra, you have to agree with them. In the Dark Zone, the quartet regrouped. What? Spike was told. And more of his friends were scared about. 4 of which were in Davis's world, 4 more in Beast Boys. Must have been the disturbance we felt. When Twilight in the group got sucked to that mirror gate, must have malfunctioned and sent all of them each to their own respective worlds. That's gotta be it, said Davis. It's also been confirmed Kyra can see me, but the Eras can't. Stay with me. Tara and Raven can see me for sure. Raven tried to catch me. I know her dark powers fit to me before. I know once he would cut me. Spike saw the let down way in the dumps. Something disturbs you? Spike looked past him. Maybe he's saying some of the police being in your world. It's far away to pass. Means they're dead by now. Images of the 4 ponies flashed by him. Luna, Keen, Das, and Rarity. Nobunaga understood Spike's pain all too well. Hundreds of years had passed since he first came to the Dark Zone himself. So, how long does it take before you become spandex like Borington? Anyone he ever knew back for the field era was long gone, with the exception of Kagome, who lived to the present day of his new world. What about the ponies? They don't belong in my world or Beast Boys. Lord already says what they're thinking causes them. You cannot interfere. What has become of them is no concern or consequence to us. Unless it becomes so, they will have to learn to fend to themselves. Asshole! 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 Boys, even Spike understood. He wasn't trying anything. He had to be careful, like out on their hunts at Dark Order now they knew people could actually see them, whereas creatures with dark magic could affect them. Still don't get. Obviously, Raven's able to see us because she draws her power from the darkness. But does this explain how Terra could see me? Or how Kairi? Princess Suyu could see me as well. Perhaps there's a connection of sorts. He Beast Boy and Divas fight over Mutts. Spike did ponders no one's seen him yet. But you wonder if any of the ponies will be able to see him when he gets a chance to test it. All he could do now is head back to Equestria on his collecting shift. I'll be back later, he said to the others, and vanished through a portal, leaving his comrades to ponder things. Ponder, 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 ponder.